Eric.
Well, I was actually reading this experience here that Mia had. I think it was Mia. So she was saying she was with her dad, Kelsey, Kevin, and Henry, and they're at the start of an obstacle course with information that said, "Don't stop, keep going." And her and the others moved toward this platform that moved, and they placed them at the first challenge, which was a lake that was overgrown. And they were hopping onto the stones that led them to the other side. And they were waiting for other people to do the same till everyone was all on the same side. And then they got to the next challenge. And the next challenge stood out. It was shaped like a rectangle, which was made of glass and dark wood attached onto it. And then you could fit a person in there, but only one person at a time. And then she crawled in, and she didn't see anything. And then suddenly spiders and a snake came out of the dark wood. And they were black and orange with red eyes that pierced your skin. And the snakes were green and black with yellow eyes that glowed as if it was going to hypnotize you. Reaching the end of the horror-like cage, the others joined her one by one, and when one made it to the other side, snakes and spiders would drop above their heads, swiping, and then they swiped them away with she swiped them away with her hand. And then straight ahead of them was a black bubbling swamp that smelled toxic. Really, really toxic. It didn't smell really, really good at all. And there was no obstacles to help them. She decided to swim through the swamp. So they swam through it, and when they all got to the other side, they saw a figure that touched the black substance. And when they touched the black substance, they became like skeletal-like. But then their body turned to gold, and it was back to normal. It's cool. And then they were walking through a dark forest. It was really creepy. You could hear low growls lurking in the dark. And then going directly forward, you could see floating platforms, and just below was pure blackness and a few flames. And then there was something down there that could kill you. They saw a beast, I guess. And then jumping up each flat platform, the others could make it to the top, but the last one was slippy, and she slipped and fell. But she clung onto the edge, trying to get up. And then she saw a hand and looked up to see who it was, and it was Rebazar, smiling down at her. And she gladly took his hand and was flung in the air and met with the golden slide, and they were sliding. And hearing laughter and chattering, she landed on fluffy clouds, and was not long joined by Kelsey, Kevin, Henry, and her dad. And they all looked at each other and smiled and said that was fun.
I have a few questions for today. A few observations for Duane to clarify us. Okay, Duane, I will take you back to your past. You came through the initiations, which helped you to be where you are today, and you said that at the time you had them, they were real as compared to what is fake today. But what I want to ask is, are you referring only to the initiations of Eckankar or in other parts where and there are so many of these parts? Okay, and then another question following on the heels of that one. Now, with the return of the real that you are, what prevents you from giving real initiations like those at the time you had them, and then you know that the initiations give a boost to the development and evolution of the student, with you as a concrete example. So I realized that the initiation is like a gift of light and sound from the master or whoever is capable to kickstart the students' exit from the material world so that he can move easily from the tangible to the intangible, from the visible to the invisible. So I don't know what you have to say about this.
Charles, or what are you referring to? The initiations that we used to go through? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you went through them and they were real at the time, as you said, and they gave you a boost. And then later they became fake. So you have come back. You've come and then you can give real initiations, which can help the students. So why don't you do them?
Well, because again, what you're looking at is just like going through high school. You went through the different grades. Well, when you move on, if it's college or university, things are different. They're not the same. And so you can ask the teacher and say, you ask them, well, why can't I go through the 12 grades like I did in high school? Well, because that's what we did then. Again, everything before this day is in the past. It's a reference, and that's it. And the boost idea and all these things, no, that's phenomena, all right? Like the sun shining, there's no boost, etc. The real universe is a recognition. And this is where, again, you can use all these words, ideas, build this up with ceremonies. The initiation idea, it's like you've gone to the next level or whatever. Everything is an isness to be recognized. This is how it's become more real, even in the day when Paul was here and wrote the books. And yes, people can read the words, that's fine, but that's not it. That was for that time. Because if people keep referring to what took place, that means that what they've decided in their own way is that life is still old and what it was. It's not. Every moment the is new because it's pure and perfect. And so this is hard to grasp, and mentally you really can't grasp it. You have to learn to see it and recognize it. And so again, no, I won't utilize these things, because then what it does is that just like what it does in the corporation, in other words, people chase the idea. And this is where the real universes are endless. That's your real freedom. And even more so than that, to recognize that, what is more than real freedom? So the initiations apply to the old systems of actually holding people to ideas that they chase, just like the God idea, just like the ideas of the government, etc. These are all ideas that people chase. I just wrote another group yesterday, Gods Are All Is. And yeah, this is, it's not so much a step. What it is that it's a decision, it's a choice. Do you want to keep looking to ideas that sound good and make you feel good personally? And, I got my next initiation. Boy, I feel great. Well, you've pumped yourself up. There's your boost, okay? And, at the time, yes, they were real at the time. That was the process at the time. But now, no, it's not. It's a new day. It's a new nowness to recognize this reality because of what's taking place on this earth. And so if people keep agreeing to the same old bubble ideas, they're just ideas, well, then you might say they're taken away with them. It's just an idea that they're chasing. Just like the master idea, the initiations, the God idea, all of these things, worshiping and prayer, everything. And the governments are the same. Again, all these systems are invented. I'm moving past that. I'm taking a gradual step to move past that with the new presentation. Again, it's just like the sun shining. All the sun can do is present itself. And each person decides to take the time to recognize what is being presented. That's all. And that's just a reference. The sun is just a reference, not the reality. To see the reality, that becomes a lot more. And yes, it is a lot. Sorry. But now's the time you got to figure it out. And with these questions you're asking like that, in other words, what you're saying is you want it to be figured out for you still. That's what it was before. It was already figured out for you. So all you had to do is step up, pay your dues, just wait for your next initiation. You got your pink slip in the mail, and voila, there it is. Yeah, there was really no effort on your part. You sang the hue or your personal word or whatever. Well, now it's like working for yourself. Now you got to step up and figure it out, creatively figure it out. And so, no, it's not the same. It can't be the same. This is where you become self-sufficient. How can you be self-sufficient when you keep looking to old ideas and wanting thrills and a boost and all these other things that you keep chasing? How can you be self-sufficient in your real awareness according to that? Again, it's choice. You decide. Everybody has the choice, etc. So, yeah, there you go.